Yo, welcome back to some more battles. We are in the Summer Cup Ultra League Edition and searching for a budget team, or at least like soft um budget, I guess. So we're gonna try out this um Typhlosion with the Greninja in the back and a Trevenant. They decided to let the first Thunder Punch go through because they do have the Skull that takes out our Talon. And now we're going to go into our Trevenant looking for a good farm. We don't get the farm down, and now we have to be facing a Drampa, and this is a huge core breaker. And unfortunately for us, we get met with a grass victory bell in the back. We have to get a boost because we need these night slashes to deal more damage to that Drampa later. But it looks like luck is not on our side right now. This night slash doesn't proc any buffs, and we have a Drampa to deal with still that we have no chance to take down. So GG's to our opponent, unable to win that backline with our Greninja. So we're actually going to just switch up the team. We completely reworked the team, running a Talonflame paired with the Virizion and the Kingdra. A little bit more answers to like the Drampa and just a little bit more budget-friendly team. Talonflame, obviously, probably going to be the worst thing or toughest thing to get, but hopefully you do have enough XLs or at least a high rank one to just potentially build for future Ultra League. So looks like we fire off the Outrage with our Kingdra, doesn't quite take out the Chestnut, so we try to get a sneaky Incinerate, but our opponent realizes that and they swap out immediately. So we have to meet their Belly Bolt with our own Virizion. This Virizion here is going to shield this one here because they did farm a ton of energy, and there goes the Zap Cannon. Our opponent tries to have our moves caught with their Chestnut, but that gives us extra farm. So we have a ton of energy. Leap Blades are going to get used. Our opponent is going to have to use their shields eventually, and one more Leap Blade is all we need. Scold is used. They do proc the debuff, but we bank the move, reset the debuff, and now we can go into the end game with a cap type win. So GG's to our opponent. Looks like the Leap Blade Virizion wins that matchup versus that Tentacruel. Even though it took 4 Leap Blades to take down like a 50% Tentacruel. All right, next we have the Talonflame versus the Cradily. This is going to be unfavorable for us as they get to these Rock Tombs before we get to our moves. Our opponent does switch out, trying to catch a move. So we could have gone Virizion here, and it probably would have been much more comfortable. But we're just going to go into the Kingdra so that we could potentially farm with something later. That debuff allows us to get a couple extra Dragon Breaths to go through. Our opponent is okay. They caught us with a little bit of lag there, and the Zap Cannon does debuff us, and we don't get the farm down. So we have to tank another Parabolic Charge, but we're going to reset that and go into the Talonflame here. This Talon is going to have to do a lot of work. Pretty much have to shield this, looking for any advantage. Unable to get the farm down, so we're going to have to fire off this Fly. And now we have this Virizion that doesn't know Stone Edge into this Skeledirge. We try to get a sneaky shield there because they didn't know our second move, but they just banked that they could survive that Stone Edge, and indeed that was the right call. So GG's to our opponents, unable to win that game, and we're hoping that we can close out this set on a good note. The team makes sense, and we gotta find some sneaky ways to try to get energy advantage though. All right, we got a rock tomb to go through into our Kingdra, so that's not terrible because we do survive it. We get met with a Tapu Fini though, and that's really bad because we basically have no good moves to throw at this Tapu Fini. We keep on just throwing Octazooka, and we do proc the debuff, and they have to use Nature's Madness. Now we can go into our Virizion because we can get to this Leaf Blade before they get to their move, and we do catch something. It is going to be a debuffed Nature's Madness, and now we have some hope because this energy that we had left over is going to come in handy. We get the boost, so this is normal damage. Our opponent here is going to fire off another Rock Tomb, but we can just shield and farm down, and depending on what comes back in, we can switch out and reset the debuff, or we could fire off a move. Our opponent here has a Zekrom. What is a Zekrom doing here in Ultra League? They decided to throw the fusion, and that is not going to be enough to take us out. So we farm down, and we get the Sacred Sword, and now we get to another Sacred Sword for the KO. So GG's to our opponents. Interesting team by our opponents running the Zekrom backline. It seems like they didn't have any good moves to throw at our Virizion though. Okay, we're going to switch on immediately here into the Kingdra. The Kingdra is going to be able to tank a Shadow Ball. The Shadow Ball puts us quite low, but we're still in the red against this Fury Cutter Golisopod, and they get a little bit greedy. We get to another Octazooka, and that is actually enough to take them out. So we flip the switch, and now we have Virizion onto the Jelly. Shadow Ball is going to get shielded, and it all depends on what they have in the back, obviously. Leap Blade is going to do super effective. We can take one Shadow Ball, which is great. Here comes another Leap Blade. This Leap Blade gets them pretty low, and now we're going to try to catch a move, and we do catch something. Shadow Ball. So that's a ton of energy just down the drain, and now we're looking for some extra farm. This Talonflame finally can show up. Flame Charge is going to get used here, not only to deal as much incinerate damage as possible, but also to potentially grab that shield. Looks like our opponent goes for the Rock Tomb, and the Rock Tomb easily takes out the Talon, but we still have to take down this Jelly. Jelly goes to a move, and it ends up being the Serve, and that is not enough to take us out. So GG's to our opponent. Check out the team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.